Kentucky football picks up their first SEC win in 399 days. And tomorrow, Kentucky basketball kicks off their season against Nichols. We talk about it all here on the Big Blue Breakdown, episode 83.
Bet you didn't know there's a place where Kentucky football and basketball fans unite. Welcome to Big Blue Breakdown. Whether you bleed blue or just love a good game, we've got the latest stories, hottest takes, and a whole lot of hometown pride. Hit play and join the conversation. This is your home for all things Kentucky sports.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Big Blue Breakdown, episode 83 here on the podcast. I appreciate you guys listening here. If you guys are watching here on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. It's the best way to help out the channel. And if you guys are on Spotify, make sure to help us out there as well by commenting, by liking, by following there. If you guys already haven't, go follow us on social media. You're missing a lot of extra content if you don't go do that. We are on TikTok, X, and Instagram. The @ is BigBlue_Bdown. You're missing extra content if you don't go there and follow. Guys, today we have a packed schedule. As you've seen from the entrance of this video, we will be talking about Kentucky's win against Auburn on the road, and then we're also going to be talking about Kentucky versus Nichols. Kentucky starts off their season tomorrow at 7 in Rep Arena. It's going to be awesome to see. But before we dive into any of that, we're going to go ahead and take a moment out of this video or this episode, also live, I guess, to talk about our friends over at W. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order every time you use it. And we will be right back here on the Big Blue Breakdown, episode 83, talking about Kentucky's win against Auburn once we get back. Hello, everybody. We wanted to take a break in this episode to tell you about our friends over at W Energy. W is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like any other energy drink. Some facts about W. Number one, it's zero sugar, artificial colors, or dyes, or hidden ingredients. It is also gluten-free. Number two, all flavors are unique and custom made by W. You'll never taste anything like a W drink. Number three, the drinks are $1 less, guys. That is cheaper than Starbucks or any canned drink. Lastly, it is made in the U.S. It is close to home. Guys, if you guys are looking forward to going to a Kentucky football game or Kentucky basketball game and you need some energy, get W. W is the perfect thing for you working out and you need some energy. You need W. You need W throughout the day. It is for you. Use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off every single order. Guys, it not only just helps you guys be able to have a clean energy drink that you can use all the time with the tubs that they give you. It helps me and it helps the channel keep growing with you guys. If you guys do that, it helps us post more content and helps them, guys. So it's a win-win-win for everybody. But thank you guys so much for your time here. Please go check out W. Check out their website. And when you are about to purchase something, use promo code BIGBLUE10 to get 10% off your order. Alrighty, guys, welcome back into episode 83 here on the Big Blue Breakdown. As first, we will be talking about Kentucky's win over Auburn. They beat the Auburn Tigers on the road to get their first SEC win this year and their first SEC win in 399 days. Their last win was last season. I believe it was September 28th, 2024, against the Ole Miss Rebels. Obviously, that was a very, very big upset for the Cats. So, Kentucky wins 10-3 against Auburn. D-line absolutely dominates in this one. They just dominated all night up front against this Auburn O-line that was missing a couple guys. Let's be completely honest here. This offensive line hasn't been great all season, and Kentucky takes a big advantage of that with 7 sacks. A season high for this Kentucky defensive line with a season high of 7 sacks. Khalil Saunders with 1.5 sacks, and Souls had a sack himself. I believe Alex Safari also had a sack in this game. Everybody was on to the quarterback. Hugh Freeze gets fired the day after this game on Sunday. He is gone. He is out of the program. I guess Mark Stoops is a grim reaper in the SEC of firing coaches after they lose to Kentucky. Very big win, especially for this season. Moving forward, you love to see it for the Cats, and it's something that this fan base truly needed. Let's be completely honest. This fan base needed this win, and Mark Stoops needed this win. Mitch Barnhart needed this win. You see them, too, after the game, sharing a very, very big hug, and even Mark Stoops getting very emotional in the post-game press conference. It's good to see him happy. Like, truly, it's good to see Mark Stoops happy, and to finally pick up a win in the SEC, and that has true meaning. It is awesome to see. Specifically looking in this game the defense dominates the game. Hugh Freeze ended up playing 2 quarterbacks very weirdly in this game. It was Ashton Daniels who got the start and came out in the 4th quarter for Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold comes in there and has maybe a drive or 2, and then comes out for Ashton Daniels to come back in on the last drive of the game. Very, very weird how they did that there. But Kentucky was able to sack the quarterback again 7 times in this game. It was awesome to see D-line dominates. I thought the secondary played very, very well from maybe the worst secondary game ever in Kentucky history against Tennessee. Brad White, that was his worst defensive coordinator game ever at Kentucky. Like, just terrible against Tennessee, and then turns around and only gives up 3 points to the Auburn Tigers. Yes, there were some bad things in this game. Let's be completely honest. Cutter did not play amazing. He looked good at some points, and he looked bad at some points. It was mostly bad for Cutter. Here's my thing, though. Even with him, now he has set the bar pretty high for himself with a couple of record-setting games against Tennessee and against Texas, and even looking really solid against Georgia. He set the bar high for himself. And yes, he did not have a great game against Auburn, but he is still consistently making plays. Like, even on a down game, he is still consistently making solid plays. His ability in the last couple of games to run the football has been very, very good for the Cats. He made some very, very smart decisions, as the Auburn defense is very, very good, guys. I know we only scored 10 points, but that defense of Auburn is very solid. He was able to pick up blitzes pretty nicely in this game. The offensive line held pretty solid, but when it collapsed, he was able to get out of the pocket and make a couple plays. And he still made some big time throws down the field. So even with him having an off game, he had some really nice plays. It wasn't all bad for Cutter Bully. A big thing in this game for me was the wide receivers stepping up. What about Fred Farrier in the drive where we needed him? Kendrick Law ended up with a touchdown at the end of this drive, but Fred Farrier is the reason why we had this touchdown, or was in the position to get this touchdown. Simply, he had 2 catches, right? One on each third down. He ran a little, comeback route, a little dig route almost, first down, and then makes a spectacular catch on the right side of the field. It was honestly like a perfectly placed ball by Cutter Boley, layered it over somebody's head and in front of the safety. Awesome toe drag by Fred Farrier to stay in bounds and then get get yards after the play. So amazing job by this wide receiver group. Cam Miller came up, made some nice catches in this one. I really, really liked the calling from Bush Hamden in this game. I thought he was very, very solid in that aspect. I think he had some really, really good calls. Looking at Kendrick Law now on that screen pass to him to get in for the touchdown. Very nice play call with Willie Rodriguez sliding over in motion and getting a nice block. A very nice play call there. And then I like the play calls to get to Cam Miller. He had a nice screen catch himself that ended up going for a couple yards, had a nice slant route to get to him. And I think he had another catch in there, so about 3 catches. But he had the play of the game. And it wasn't an offensive play. It was Cutter Boley threw a late pick that was very bad. Okay, that was probably the worst thing for him all night. Cam Miller, in that play, guy gets the pick. He's going, gets to like the left side near the Kentucky sideline. Cam Miller goes behind him. Perfect form. Punches the ball out. He recovers the ball as well. Gets it for the Cats, and that's how we kind of solidify the game. Pin them back deep in their own territory. Dude's a baller. This wide receiver room, we went from, okay, we don't really have anything to we have a deep wide receiver room and talented too. DJ Miller last week against Tennessee, man, what a game from him. Cam Miller now. Dude's electric. Kendrick Law, the best wide receiver in this receiver room so far, he's electric. Jamori Macklin, when he's back and healthy, he's electric as well. Fred Farrier stepping up. Then you got the tight ends and Josh Caddis and Willie Rodriguez consistently making plays in games. You got to absolutely love what you've seen, the jumps for this wide receiver room this year, especially the young guys. Should have been playing earlier. Cutter Boley has a really good connection with them. Been playing very, very well all together. We ended up getting the win. Defense got us the win here. Very, very nice, especially in that aspect. But we kind of controlled it throughout. I thought the time of possession was really, really nice from the Cats in this game. But Auburn is not that great. But they did play some really, really close games against some really good teams. So I'm not taking away from that. They get their first SEC win of the year and improve to 3-5. Before I go into Mark Stoops, I want to say this. Kentucky sets themselves up very nicely to possibly make a bowl game at the end of this year. I'll add with Mark Stoops at the end here. They set themselves up very nicely to make a bowl game. Kentucky is now 3-5. Who do they play this Saturday? A very beatable Florida team. Yes, they are good. They are solid. They are better than their record shows. But is that a winnable game? 1,000% Kentucky can beat Florida at home, especially in the conditions they're going to be playing in. 1,000% winnable game. You win that, you improve to 4-5, and then you have a gimme against Tennessee Tech. Then you have 5 right there. 5 right there. And then you can split whatever between Vanderbilt and Louisville, which is two very tough games. But you set yourself up in a position to, if you get one more win, if you split the games between Louisville and Vanderbilt, however that goes, you make it to a bowl game. And that all started by a nice win on the road at Auburn. Now talking about Mark Stoops. He gives himself a chance here to stay. I'm not going to give my opinion on whether that's negative or whether that's positive. That's up to you to completely think. But he gives himself a chance here. If he makes it to a bowl game, I just don't see him going, because that's been the standard at Kentucky now. That is the standard to make a bowl game, and that's what he has the opportunity to do. It'll be really interesting on what Mitch Barnhart would do if he went like 5-7. But he survives. I love to see this guy happy. I'm gonna keep my emotions out of this, but I mean, as a Kentucky fan, I would never root for us to lose. Let me be completely honest. We get the win, and we set ourselves up to make a bowl game, which is completely doable, by the way. Completely doable. And I like to see our coach happy because he's done so much for the program. That's kind of where I'm at with it right now. But I'm not going to tell you positively or negatively. He gives himself a shot. Let me just leave it at that. He gives himself a shot. Nice win for the Cats on the road at Auburn. 10-3 they win in a defensive shootout almost. But Kentucky pulls through in that one and gives himself a shot to make it to a bowl game. With a game against Florida coming up. Before we dive into Kentucky versus Nicholls, Kentucky's first basketball game of the year, I want to give you guys I'm going to messing my words here. I'm going to take a quick break in this episode to talk about our friends over at Bluegrass Elite. Make sure to use code BIGBLUE, BBB15, BBB15 to get 15% off your order every time you use it. And we'll be right back here on the Big Blue Breakdown, episode number 83 here. All right, real quick before we keep going, I've got to tell you about our new partners over at Bluegrass Elite. They've got some really nice Kentucky gear, clean designs, stuff that actually looks good on game days. I've been checking out some of their shirts and hoodies myself, and the cool thing is they're hooking y'all up with 15% off every single time you order. Just use my code BBB15 at checkout. So if you want to rep the Cats and save a little money while doing it, hit that link down in the description of this video. Guys, go check them out. Really, really good gear over there. Make sure to use my promo code BBB15 to get 15% off your order every time you use it. Let's go back to the episode. Alrighty, welcome back into episode 83 here on the Big Blue Breakdown as we dive into Kentucky versus Nicholls. Let's take a look at the numbers here. After we take a look at the numbers here, we're going to take just a look at Nicholls just in general, okay? Give you a little analysis on them, and then we will go into what does Kentucky fans need to see from the Cats in this one, and then lastly, I will give my score prediction and then my MVP. So, numbers. KenPom gives Kentucky a 99.5% chance to win this game with the score prediction of 90-62. That would be an 18-point win for the Cats. I want to just say everything going through this year for basketball, I'm going to be using KenPom. I think it's the most reliable source. Really, really good stuff there from KenPomery rankings. Go check that out. It's a number-based thing. Very, very good. That's what I'm going to be basing everything off of. By the way, awesome start to college basketball today. If you didn't watch, the Field of 68 did a whole live. I think it's kind of like I want to say what's the right word here? I can't even think of the right word to say for the team. Mid-major. There we go. Mid-major teams playing. Had a really, really nice broadcast going on there on YouTube, but that was really nice. And then Florida drops to Arizona to start the year. Really interesting there. There is another game I think about to go on. I think it's BYU, maybe, just maybe, playing somebody, but Florida drops there. Really cool start to college basketball today. Okay, looking at some other numbers here. This is a Q4 game for Kentucky. If you don't know what that means, that's quadrant 4. They base this is a metric that the field uses to kind of rank your wins, I would say, for the tournament. So Q4 is the second to lowest you can be, but the lowest is a non-Division I team, so this is really the lowest you can be throughout the year. So Q4 game, that should say a lot about this one. Nicholls is 222nd on KenPom with the 260th offense and 179th defense, and adjusted tempo of 154th. So the numbers do not really like this team. Just KenPom is just not a fan of them, as you can see, with their offense being pretty abysmal at 260th and their overall ranking being at 222nd, and their defense at 179th. This team is a team that likes to go slower at 100 at the adjusted rate tempo of 154th in the country. So that's a very it's a big difference in styles between Kentucky and Nicholls here. We'll get into that later. Okay, jumping into looking at a couple of years of Nicholls in their history with Coach Tavon Sadler. This dude has had a ton of success here at Nicholls, like a ton. You got to give credit to this dude. 40-27 he is at Nicholls. Last year, almost made the NCAA tournament. He is not projected to that this year, but he almost made the tournament last year. Had a really nice team last year, and 2 years ago knocked off LSU on the road, and I believe competed with I cannot think of his name. The dude who played in New Mexico last year that was really good. Dampier, not Dam. I just say Dampier from football. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But I mean, he has a little bit of a track record of competing with some solid teams, and he has a 40-27 record and almost made the NCAA tournament last year. That's to say a lot about their head coach in general. This team, I think it might be a little bit different. They lose 8 transfers. 4 of them average 10-plus points that left. So that's a lot of production loss to the transfer portal. They only returned 3 guys, and none of them averaged 6 or more points from last year. So this is a completely rehauled roster. Okay, completely. The numbers can tell you that. And just looking at it from a roster perspective, big turnover here. They bring in 4 NAIA guys, so I'm not saying those guys are going to be bad, okay? I think it's just going to be really, really hard for them just to walk right into Rep Arena and have an immediate success with all this turnover. No continuity, no actual, returning guys that have a lot of production, and some guys that are coming from the NAIA realm. That should say a lot there. I think they have, I cannot think the name of the guy, but I think they have one really, really solid guy, and that's really about it. Other than that, they are a big, just walking question mark. And, but I do kind of worry about just their head coach here. Very solid guy there, but the numbers tell you this team is not going to be very good. You obviously got to look at us. We're going to be really, really good, even after our loss to Georgetown. Don't overreact. Don't overreact for the Purdue game either. Don't overreact. We're going to be really, really good. They walk into Rep Arena, inexperience and rehauled of a roster, and 4 NAI guys coming in. A lot of production loss from last year. Okay, what does Kentucky fans need to see in this one? Simply, they need to see. We asked Kentucky fans, what was the problem in the Georgetown game? We could not hit threes. We couldn't hit our shots. We need to see somebody solidify as the 3-point shooter of this team. And you might be saying, well, that's already Trent Noah. Well, we haven't seen that yet. We need to see, I think it could be Trent Noah, Cam Williams, maybe even Denzel Aberdeen, Yelovich, possibly even somebody like a Colin Chandler or a Jasper Johnson. Any of those guys could be that guy, but we just need to see that guy consistently step up for the Cats. We need to see that. We need to control the pace of this game. Unlike Nicholls, Kentucky is going to want to make this an up and down game, and that's what it needs to be. I don't think they'll be able to keep up with our pace and simply our presence on the inside if we're able to get up and down, as our bigs like to run, have a big body force going like that. I don't think they'll be able to stop that. So we simply have to control the pace of this game and just move it up and down the floor consistently. And we have to see a guy step up and make multiple three-pointers and just kind of solidify himself as that three-point guy. And there's a lot of choices there. There is a lot of choices there. Simply, we just want to see your overall good game in this one. Just play an overall good game. We want to see them blow them out. This team is not good. That's coming in. This is a Q4 game. The numbers show it. The roster shows it. We're supposed to be a national championship contender. So what do we need to do? We need to take care of business, right? And I put down here, I underlined it, no injuries. We cannot get another person injured that will be significant in this game. Simply to put it. Some injury updates is I think we're hopefully going to be getting one guy back tomorrow with Denzel or Jalen Lowe. Either way, I think we're going to be fine. But some good update is today that both guys were practicing. So I think those guys looking forward in the future are going to be fine. Just cannot have any other injuries. Play clean. Run them off the floor literally with your tempo. And just take care of business against what's supposed to be a not good team. You're the superior team here. My score prediction for this game is going to be 95-70. I have a 25-point win for the Cats. I think they blow them out. I think they do what I said. Hopefully no injuries. Fingers crossed there. I think Kentucky just runs this team off the floor. I think they're better. They're more skilled. I think they honestly get out coached, even though I think Tavon Sadler is a very, very good head coach here. I just don't think they have the talent to keep up with the Cats. I think Rupp Arena is going to be really, really fired up, and I think we play well. I think we see a couple guys step up here. We take care of business against a not good team in Nichols. 95-70 is my score prediction, and my MVP is Cam Williams. I think he solidifies as one of those guys to be a very, very good three-point shooter for the Cats. I think he steps up. I think his 6'8" body is going to be a major factor in this one. He's going to be able to get the shots that he wants with that body. I think he's very, very good in this game, and I think he possibly goes for like 3 or 4 threes in this one. I don't want to say he solidifies himself, but that definitely could be. Give me MVP Cam Williams. I appreciate you guys coming here and listening to episode 83 here on the Big Blue Breakdown. As we talked about Kentucky's first SEC win in football in 399 days against Auburn. And then Kentucky plays Nichols tomorrow. Not good team. Should run them off the floor. Should be a nice game to start off the year. Get a little momentum going forward for the Cats. I appreciate you guys coming here and listening to this one. Again, go follow us on social media at BigBlue_Breakdown or B-Down, and BigBlue_B-Down on TikTok, X, and Instagram. Again, appreciate you guys. See how the Cats do tomorrow. Hopefully they should run them off the floor. That's the expectation for the Cats. And we will see you guys very, very soon. Again, I appreciate you guys coming here and listening. And as always, go Cats.